I am the last comedian on planet Earth. This is year 2035. I'm hiding away somewhere remote because you can't tell jokes anymore since the left got the way. And the one election with Joe Biden, unfortunately, after that, all humour was banned because the left simply didn't have a sense of humour and didn't get jokes at all, and therefore the joke was on the world. But I just want to say, what my dad was a funny man. My mum came in one day and she said, she had her hair done, and she said, "Excuse me, do you like my new hairstyle?" My dad says, "Yeah, it's alright, but will he help you cooking?" A mate's daughter came, or son actually came home. We lived in Victoria, of Australia, and the mate's son came home one day, back in the day, and son said to his dad, "Excuse me, Dad, I need $5 for school tomorrow." And his dad said, "What do you need $5 for school for?" He said, "Oh, sex lessons." "Well, what do you need $5 for sex lessons?" And his son said, "Well, it's my turn to buy the condoms. I've got to find out what it's like to be a gay. For equal opportunities, sort of thing." Anyway, and that's why, so it's very funny to tell about what happened in Victoria, isn't it? Like, kind of force that sort of thing on people. It did turn the state around a bit in the end to become a communist state because it turned in upon itself and bred in this idiosyncratic badness where all must obey the leader. So you have helicopters buzzing around town to see if people are out wandering around enjoying themselves like normally people would if they were well. Even if they're sick, people normally get out and enjoy themselves, even if they get a bit of fresh air. But that's not allowed anymore in the tyrannical state of Victoria in Australia. But no, another thing my dad he created a saying, and it's one of those. It was in Baghdad during the Second World War, and he was sitting there, and my dad quite liked Arabs. I quite like Arabs, actually. He had a really good sense of humour. And it's funny how Arabs have got a better sense of humour than Aussies, though. That's a different matter, though. But so have Chinese, and everyone's laughing at the Aussies at the moment because Aussies are pretending to be free. We've got freedom, we've got democracy, we've got free speech, and the CCP, and everyone's saying, "No, you haven't. You're having yourselves on. You haven't got anything like that at all." Anyway, my dad, he was in this cafe in Baghdad. This is back in the 40s, and he's sitting there and he's having a cup of coffee with an Arab guy. He could speak a little bit of Arab, and bloke could speak a bit of English, and they having a chat about this and the other. And the old man and the Arab man said, "I am just a poor goat herder," and he had a small farm out in the middle of nowhere. And he said, "Sorry, I enjoyed your conversation, sir, but I must go now because I can see all those ladies are out there. My wife's amongst them." And my dad said, "Well, how can you tell which is your wife?" He said, "Oh, it's the one in the old bag." And that's where that saying came from, the old bag. It was a saying my father brought back from the war. It's one of those things that just happens. This is our spontaneity. But spontaneity, it can't happen anymore because with political correctness, if you suddenly have a thought and you think, "Oh, it might offend someone," well, spontaneity is gone. You're not allowed to have the spontaneous thought, what might be original and different to anyone else's. That is what against political correctness. Political correctness is not something that disallows spontaneous combustion or spontaneous thought or random thought or one of those things. "Oh, suddenly had an idea." Banned, no, not allowed to have an idea because left haven't got any ideas. Their ideas come from the 19th century. Marx was in the 19th century in industrial Europe, where he saw working in the satanic mills, or people slaving away for 16 hours a day for a tuppence a week, or $1 a week, he thought, well, you need a better system. That's how Marx came up with a better system. But nowadays, people are all on welfare and stealing for a living or whatever, saying we want more of what the workers earn. They don't want more of what they earn and earn for themselves, this equal economic equality. They want more of what other people are earning. That's the Joe Biden thing about on the left. They want more of what the workers are earning to be distributed against the people who are not working. That's the idea of economic equality. Distributing not off the back of the capitalist, but the back of the worker. And lots of people are just in small businesses, small-time capitalists. But that is the targets that the left are into. And it's a funny old world, isn't it? Now they've sort of gone from a world that has a sense of humour to a world that is now a joke. The West saying, no, we've got democracy. We haven't got democracy. We've got freedom of speech, and we've got all these freedoms. And then suddenly the left comes along and says, no, you haven't. You're not allowed to say this. You can't discuss the weather anymore without our permission. You can get sacked out of university for having a discussion, a philosophical discussion about the state of the climate or state of weather or state of anything. Philosophy is killed off because it might offend somebody other there who has no idea about English but is a professor of English and has no idea of English whatsoever. So he's offended by English words that in English, the contextual nature of the conversation that is beyond their ken. So conversation is banned that offends people simply because they don't get that a conversation we had freely without permission from some sort of authority. The authority has not authorised conversations that can't be held. This is the Labour Party, and this is the Democrats, the left. We're only free speech will allow is when you're free to do it under our permission. Other than that, all other speech will be controlled by the main controller. But that's it, really. That's what happens when you get the weakest people there is and the weakest minded people in charge. And the West is saying to China, no, we've got free speech, we've got democracy. They're trying to vote communism in the USA. How ironic is that?